Hello, I'm Taya and I'm here to teach you a little bit about art history. Today we will be going over the life of Surrealist master Rene Magritte. Let's get into it. Before we start, I want to advise that some elements of this artist's story will involve mentions of suicide. Some of you may be asking, who is Rene Magritte? Well, he was a Belgian surrealist artist who became famous for his witty and thought-provoking works. His images would often depict everyday objects in an unusual context in the artist's attempt to challenge the viewer's preconditioned ideas of reality and life. He was highly influenced by pop art, minimalist art, and conceptual art. Rene Magritte was born in Belgium in 1898 as the oldest son of the tailor and textile merchant Leopold Magritte and milliner Regina. There was little known about the artist's early life, though we do know he began drawing lessons in 1910. In early 1912, his mother committed suicide by drowning herself in a river. This was not her first attempt, but one of many throughout her life. The attempts got so bad, Leopold had to lock her in a bedroom until she escaped and went missing for days. There were stories, which many suggest began with the family nurse, that the then 13-year-old Magritte was present when his mother's body was found and retrieved, but this story has recently been discredited. It has also been told, but not proven, that his mother was found with her dress covering her face, an image that may have been the source of several of Magritte's paintings in the late 20s. The earliest paintings known to be Magritte's, from approximately 1915, were impressionistic in style. From 1916 to 1918, the young artist studied at the Royal Academy of Fine Arts in Brussels, where he studied under Constant Montauld, but he found the Academy's instruction uninspiring and boring. He then studied under the painter and poster designer Gisbert Combaz, and until 1924, his works became inspired by Futurism and Metzinger's figurative Cubist style. The early 20s were a busy time for Magritte. From December 1920 to September 1921, he served in the Belgian infantry in Beverlo. In 1922, he married a childhood friend, Georgette Berger. In 1922, he was brought to tears when the poet Marcel Lemcotte showed him a reproduction of Giorgio de Chirico's The Song of Love, describing the moment as one of the most moving moments of my life. My eyes saw thought for the first time. Between 1922 and 1923, the young artist worked in a wallpaper factory as a draughtsman. Then he was a poster and advertisement designer until 1926, when he was able to become a full-time artist thanks to the contract with a gallery in Brussels. This is when Magritte produced his first surrealist artwork, titled The Lost Jockey, and his first exhibition was held in 1927. The exhibition was met with criticism and abuse, leading the artist to move to Paris, where he would become friends with André Breton, the leader of the surrealist group. During his 3-year stay in Paris, he became a leading member of the artistic group, exhibiting with Salvador Dali, Jean Arp, Max Ernst, Joan Miro, Picasso, and more in 1929. In December 1929, he participated in the final publication of the Surrealist Revolution, edition 12, where his essay on words and images discussed how words play with images. This is in sync with his work, The Treachery of Images. By the end of 1929, the Gallery Magritte was contracted to closed, ending his full-time artistic career and income. He felt he had made little impact in the Parisian art scene, so he returned home to Brussels to continue working in advertising in 1930. He began earning a stable wage when he and his brothers partnered to open an agency. By 1932, he would join the Communist Party. He would leave and join the party several times over the years. In 1936, he had the opportunity to hold a solo exhibition of his work at the Julian Levi Gallery in New York, followed soon by an exposition at the London Gallery in 1938. During this time, Magritte was living rent-free at the British Surrealist patron Edward James's London home, giving him the opportunity to study architecture and paint in his free time. James was featured in 2 works painted in 1937, titled The Pleasure Principle and the famous Not to be Reproduced. Magritte briefly adopted a colourful painterly style known as his Renoir period during the German occupation of Belgium in World War II between 1943 and 1944. It is believed this period was due to his feelings of alienation and abandonment during the German occupation. In 1946, the artist renounced his earlier works for their violence and pessimism, deciding to join other Belgian artists in the signing of the manifesto Surrealism in Full Sunlight. For the next 2 years, he painted in a provocative and crude Fauve style and supported himself financially through produced fake Picasso, Braque, and Chirico paintings. He would later expand this to forged banknotes during the post-war period. His brother Paul and fellow surrealist Marcel Marien were also tasked in assisting in the production and selling of said forgeries. By the end of 1948, the artist had returned to his pre-war Surrealist style. Rene Magritte married Georgette Berger, the daughter of a butcher, in 1922. The pair first met when Magritte was 15 and Georgette was 13. When they met again in 1920, she was also studying art and soon became his model and muse as well as his wife. In 1936, the artist began an affair with the young performance artist Sheila Ledge. To distract his wife from the affair, Magritte recruited his friend Paul Collinet to entertain her. This led to an affair between Georgette and Collinet. The husband and wife did not reconcile until 1940. In August 1967, Magritte died of pancreatic cancer at the age of 68. Some of the famous artists who were inspired by the work and ideas of Rene Magritte include John Baldessari, Ed Ruscha, Andy Warhol, Jasper Johns, and Louis Ray. Some of these artists directly reference Magritte in their works, while others simply used him as an outside influence. Due to Magritte's use of simple graphics and everyday imagery, he is widely recognized for his early influence in the development of pop art, though he denied the connection himself. Rene Magritte had a tremendous impact on both art and society. His works broke away from the confinements of fine art, using the revolutionary Surrealist art movement to urge his audience to look deeper into truth and reality. Despite his denial, Magritte's works paved the way for the pop art movement to thrive through his immeasurable influence on artists like Andy Warhol and John Baldessari. To put it simply, Magritte's works urge you to look deeper and to take nothing for granted. His dreamlike artworks question viewers' perception, morphing ideas of imagery and text to undermine reality. The director at the Latrobe Regional Gallery, Mark Thurman, sums up Magritte's legacy well, stating, "Magritte had a unique creative ability to enchant. He used the ordinary and the everyday to evoke the mysterious and to question our perceptions of reality. He is an iconic artist whose influence on fellow artists, designers, film directors, and visual culture continues to this day." Here are some of Magritte's most famous works: The Treachery of Images, The Son of Man, The Lovers 2, Golconda, Not to be Reproduced. Thank you so much for watching today's lecture. If you enjoyed your time, please like and subscribe for more videos just like this.